Hey, it's a pleasant day. It's a very, very sunny day. And welcome to another episode of Try Bonsai. This is your boy, Bana. Yeah, cut me here again. And today, what we have happening here is we have this candle tree. Now, I've had this candle tree for a bit, and it has become root bound. It's in desperate need of repotting. Desperate need of repotting. And there seems to be, it could possibly be because of the soil and the roots and whatnot, but the leaves are not as vibrant as they usually are. They're wilting off, and we need to give this tree some love and attention. So, what we're going to do today? What we're going to do today? Today, we're going to repot this. We're going to look at the roots. We're going to do some root pruning. Then we're going to look at the top, prune it back, pot it up into some fresh soil, and let's hope that that reinvigorates the plant and it brings this plant tree, whatever it is to call it, back to some kind of a glorious kind of position. And when we do that, what we could start looking at is training it properly as a bonsai. Yeah? So, for the little thing, let me just go. So, my friends, I've given all you a very close and personal view on what the situation is with this particular tree. Obviously, I've allowed it to grow in that pot. Saying a tad bit too long might just be cutting it a little too short. And what has happened is that the roots have grown through the mesh that I put to the bottom of the pot, and they've circled and they're going wrong and wrong. But what's more important right now is the fact that I don't necessarily have a root base. This is what you call a not so good looking situation. This is nice at all. How am I going to deal with this? I do not know. But I am going to use something that I heard from my good friend Tom of Grow and Clip Bonsai. Thanks, Tom. And Tom has an acronym OTC. Observe, think, and then cut. So, I'm going to observe this. I'm going to think about what I want to possibly try to do with this. Trying to foster a new root system. And then I'm going to make some cuts. Now, the nice thing about this particular species is that the roots can create new plants from it. But ideally, what I want to do is to create a root base. Or if I can't create a root base, how can I take this quote-unquote ugly piece of material and make something real nice out of it? Yeah? So, again, thank you so very much, Tom, for that acronym. OTC, observe, think, and then cut. So, that's what I'm going to do. Where you, sir? So, as you're seeing this in front of your face here, what we have happening here is that the root came and it made a L here, and I try my best to maneuver around. I'm gonna cut this. Probably not gonna use those anyway. Right, so it made an L, and there's nothing in the back here. Absolutely, positively nothing in the back here. So this ideally is the rooting system. How can we treat with this? There are some options. There is root over rock. There is trying to develop a new rooting system, which I think might be the option I may go down. You know, I could take this off, which is going to take off a lot of roots, and plant this as possibly a separate tree. However, this in and of itself, even though it comes down here, as you can see, there are some thick roots coming off of it here. So you have 1, 2, and then inside here 3. And I know it's a little bit confusing because it has so much happening all around, but I don't want to just cut wild and then say, oops, oh shucks, I should have keep that. So I've taken my time with this a little bit. Now these stragglers I could remove because we're not going to use those at all. And I'm going back to the thinking box to see what is the best way forward for this tree. Yeah. So that's the plan. Back to the thinking box to see what is the best way forward for this tree. As I said, I could remove this and possibly look at starting a new something with this particular root. There's also this very big, and as you could see, it goes up and around. So I gotta remove this too. Yeah, because this not adding any kind of value. This goes up and around and then down with some very big roots coming off of it. So friends, that is the plan. Let's get to cutting. Right, and when we're done cut, oh boy, the adventures of bonsai. All right, here we go. So funny enough, in a time like this, it would have been nice to have had Nigel, and I'll call your name Nigel Saunders right here, to make the tough decisions. Because these are some very tough decisions, my friends. But say what? No, this is reality. If the plant survives, I hope it does, it would be great, and we could continuously work at the root system. If it doesn't, it's a learning curve. And what we're learning is that this particular species have to pay a bit more attention to these roots and not just leave it anyhow, because you could end up in situations like these with not a very good root system. Yeah, so here we go. Big cut number 1. And that, my friend, woo, still tangled, yes. That removes this entire thing away from that rooting system. So this, as I said, we could try to plant this as a separate something, as a new potential tree. So we're not throwing this away, not at all. Then we have this next very big cut. This root comes up. Look at it. If this is the root base, we're just going. I do not know if this plant will survive this operation, my friends. To be very, very honest, I don't know. I'm going with faith here, and what I will do, however, is not throw it away as I make the cut I talking to you, because the nervousness. Ooh-wee. I'm not going to throw it away. I'm also going to plant this as something, as a new tree. So what I am left with is this not good looking L, and it also has yet another problem. There's another root that comes around and goes underneath, and oh my word. Whew. Well, yeah, I don't know, The question now is, can I save this? Can I save this? And if I cut here, because there's nothing beyond, there's this, and I don't even know if this will help the plant survive. If I cut this here and plant this deeply like a cutting, would it survive? Friends, there's only one way to find out. So that is what we're going to do. I am going to cut this here, very, very big cut. I am going to remove a lot of the top foliage from this tree. Right, taking it back quite a lot to reduce the needs and the strain. Not asking it for more than it could do. And I am going to plant this tree as a cutting. I know my camera work a little bit off key today because, to be honest, this, I'm not saying that this is beyond my scope. That's not what I'm saying at all, but this is an unexpected adventure. That is what this is. This has presented itself as a very unexpected adventure. And how are we treating with this? Well, I just said how I'm going to possibly treat with it. I'm going to treat this as a cutting. I'm going to plant all of these as root cuttings. And I'm going to cut this off here, removing a lot of the foliage. Reducing the load that this has. And we will see what is happening. Oh Lord, yes. So let me get a good nice pot so that I could cut and plant this very deeply. Then let me get some pots for these, and let me come back and fet. We'll see. Alright, my friends. So I have my rooting hormone. I have my pot. I probably could look for a pot a little bit deeper. I almost didn't finish my sentence there. But I think this is good enough. I think so. So, here we go. This is the big experiment. Will this be successful? I do not know. But one, according to Nigel, two, and that's it. The bottom piece is off. Here is the top. Have I removed enough foliage from the top of the tree so that it does not strain the tree or cause any kind of problems in creating new roots? I don't know, friends, because to be quite honest, cuttings have not been my most successful venture. So, dipping this into the rooting hormone, and I'm going to plant this deep into this pot. And at this stage, I'm thinking to myself, without saying it all yet, you know, I probably should have had the dirt a little closer to my hand than it is right now. This is a big hurrah if this takes off. Right, and I'm going to give this some water and put this in a nice shaded corner for it to have any hopes of survival at all, any kind of hopes. Alright, so I'm coming back. When I come back, we're going to deal with these root cuttings. So my friends, now we have the root cuttings, and I'll come back without the pots. Now we have the root cuttings, and obviously I can't plant them with all of this. So this is the first man as I pick him up first. Removing this. Now this gives you a kind of fork, something going on here. Hi. Cut this here. It has one in a root in the back here. I'm gonna take this off. I'm gonna cut this a little more. Right. And I'm gonna plant this like this. Does this make any sense? I do not know. I am going to plant these both and hope that the both of them, or at least one of them, gives me roots where I could remove one. If the both of them take off, I will look at which is the best possible option and remove one. Yeah? So that is it for this. And I'm moving a little bit Vikey. Sorry. Alright, so I put some drainage screen. That is what I meant to say some time ago. Drainage screen into the bottom of these spots. I'm going to put a base layer of soil, and then we're going to sort after the roots. So this one is planted. And friends, I've had success with these root cuttings in the past, and I'll show you those in a short. I've had success with these root cuttings from this particular species in the past. So I'm hoping that I have the same amount of success. Although this would make a very nice cascade if it caught on. So I am going to plant this. This needs a deeper pot because this just might work or not. This just might work. So, my friends, these are the root cuttings that I planted. I don't know if they will be successful at all. If they are, I would be exceedingly happy. This, as you can see here, let me turn it so you can see the side of it, has a really nice cascading effect with nice movement and whatnot. This also has another nice cascading effect. I cut off the tip here, right, so that it's pointing a bit more upward. This is nice, and this is nice. Now, I did not put rooting hormone on any of them except for this one. I don't know if that is a good, a bad, or indifferent. We shall see. Alright, so, oh yes, when you come outside thinking, well, hey, I'm gonna do one thing, and then you end up doing a lot of other different things. So this is the situation with that. So before I go, let me get a little update on the last forest that I planted. Yeah. So this, my friends, is the Salicaria forest, or as we call it here locally, the sassafolia, that I would have done, and it is doing extremely well. As you can see, it is grown a lot of new growth. Let me give you a top view. The camera work a little bit shoddy, but that is okay. The excitement is real. Now, look at this, my friends. As you can see, roots. Those are roots, and it is healthy, and I am very happy with this. This, and now, my friends, is the jasmine or water styrax area that I removed from the larger tree, and as you can see, it is still quite green to the point where new growth and flower buds passing the Gemelina. This, my friends, is the Nerofolia area that I removed, and as you can see, it is doing quite well. There is new growth, and boy, well, yeah, I'm happy, you know. I'm very happy with this. So, good stuff. So, my friends, that is it for today. Thank you so very, very much for joining me here on Try Bonsai. As you can see, my birdies in the back there, swinging away, singing away, doing what they're doing. Right? Just a short recap. So, I had the candle tree there in the spot, and it started to look as though it wasn't doing well. It wasn't doing well, and decided to repot, and we just had a whole set of things. So let us hope that everything survives. But if it doesn't, not saying that I don't want it to survive. I want everything to survive. If it doesn't, we've learned some lessons. You know, we need to pay a bit more attention to certain trees, learn the varying species of trees, how they root, how they operate, how to repot, when to repot, so forth and so forth. You know the thing, right? As per usual, you know, be good to yourself, be good to others. You know, treat people how you want to be treated. And our climate is our responsibility. We have an opportunity to put the climate in a better place. You know, not only for us, but for all the generations to come. You know, before I sign off, I want to say thank you to everyone who has subscribed and who continues to support, for everyone who comments As you realize, I respond to your comments. I appreciate it quite a lot. Thank you so very, very much. Thanks very much. Continue to like, continue to share, continue to comment. And yeah, we go link up soon. All right, take care. Bye.